For all of you who are following along in John Gill's exposition or commentary of the entire Bible verse by verse, I want you to know that when this big bandwagon of ministers worldwide jumped onto saying that the Bible is the inerrant word of God, they all joined up and signed up and all this great stuff, trying to challenge that you cannot say that there's any errors in the Bible, when in fact we know that printers and made errors when they went to make the Bible in the first 100 years or so, and had to be corrected by the 1769 to 1760 editions by the Oxford printing of the King James. They corrected all the printing errors they found. We also see with John Gill that there are other versions having other renderings, similar or so being. The Syriac, the Arabic, the Ethiopic, the Alexandria, the Beza, and all these great old versions have different renderings of different words and different phrases. And so John Gill, who is the only person to have gone through the entire Bible, verse by verse, from Genesis to Revelations, adheres to. Now, I have attended seminary, got my master's and my doctorate of ministry through seminary, and I can tell you for a fact, we never went through the Bible like this at all, not even close. And this man continually goes through and quotes back all these different versions of the Bible. I am not one to say that the Bible is an inerrant. There's no errors whatsoever. I'm not one to say that. I'm one to say that it is held together, put together, and means basically the same thing throughout the entire thing and what it was written for by God. Is there errors? Is there problems? Sure. That's why you should go ahead and compare all the old versions and take serious Bible study. That's why I'm putting John Gill's exposition, describing all the difficult parts, commentary of the Bible, verse by verse, up. So you can see, are there errors? Are there problems? Sure. What are they? Are they great, grand? No. Are they small and insignificant? Could be. But you need to study this. Seriously study this. Or listen to it. And you can do so by going through John Gill's entire commentary, exposition of the Bible, verse by verse. And you'll see. You can't call it the inerrant Word of God. You can't call it a closed system. What you can do is say that God has loved us so much so that He has given His Word for us to get to know Him better. So don't call it the inerrant Word of God. Call it the Word of God. Let it stand on its own. And then do some serious Bible study. You don't need to stand up for God. God can stand up for Himself. I'm not saying the Bible is something that is full of errors. I'm saying you should study it. Both what you're reading, not your paraphrases, but what you're reading in serious Bible study like John Gill. That's why I'm dedicating the last few years probably of my life to read this for the blind, the illiterate, the poor, the busy, the aged, and people like myself who want to know the Word of God so we can draw closer to God. So, that's where I stand on this word. I don't say it's a closed system at all. What are we going to do when the two prophets get here in the end times? Are we not going to include what they have to say from God to us in the written word? I, for one, would like, if I'm alive, would like to have what they say put in at the end of Revelation or in the chapters where they're supposed to be in Revelation of what they have to say to us. So I can read it and reread it and reread it. Because I want to know, what is God saying today to me, to us, to our nation? What? I'm not going to close the system. I'm not going to be that matter of fact, because then you won't listen to the two prophets that God sent back. Just food for thought. God bless.